Hey, what's up, guys? So this is episode 3 of 1% Better. And what if I told you that you can never lose in life? How does that sound to you? Everything you did, everything you earned, and everything you try, you can never lose. Doesn't that sound good? Well, today we went to DY's competition, and there was a lot of kids today, a lot of kids in Dublin Sports Arena. And man, I saw a lot of very high level jiu-jitsu from these little kids. Obviously, we did very well as a team, won jiu-jitsu. We saw a lot of wins from gyms like AOJ, who had tons of gold medals, silver medals, looked outstanding. Checkmat did really good, and I think I saw some Libre jiu-jitsu. A lot of well-known gyms, well-known professors come out. Oh, Marcio Andre came out with really good performances with our friend Makana. He's from Day by Day Jiu-Jitsu, and I think he did his 4th Euro title, which is amazing. I love that kid. But anyway, today, in the Bible it says, always bring people up, never bring people down with your tongue. I always love to uplift the organization of IBJJF, but I did feel like the reffing was a little bit suspect this year. I think the growth has been so high in Europe and everywhere, and I don't know. We ran into a couple situations where the reffing was a little suspect, and I think not to downplay your opponent, DY, but how did your whole match go? Let's hear it from your side.
So my first opponent, he didn't show up, so I went straight to the finals. And going into the match, I felt good. I felt strong. I felt my passing was good. How did you feel?
I think you did good. Obviously, so the outcome, DY did lose in the finals, and he got a silver medal. The final score was 0-0 with it was basically a ref's decision. Okay, and watching the replay, we were arguing for a stalling penalty, which the opponent had DY in a lapel guard, and he was just holding him, and we were kind of screaming, hey, there should be a penalty, and didn't give it to him. Oh well, who cares? And then while DY was passing, and this passing sequence is very dynamic, and because in jiu-jitsu we need to keep moving the hips until they get tired, and then eventually you will get the guard pass, right? But during that motion, the ref stopped the fight, and he goes, wait guys, wait, you guys have to fix your uniform, and then have him restart in his guard. And so little things like that, when you're high level, like yellow, even gray belts, gray, yellow, orange, and you stop a fight during a whole passing sequence like that to fix your belt or your uniform, to all due respect to the ref, I think could really impact the nature of the game. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Like, DY, you're not getting paid to fight in the tournament. It's all for fun and games, but you did lose. It did not feel good. He did reap you, which wasn't called, but anyway, what did you learn from this situation? Like, what are some things that we could work on going forward because that's the only thing we can do, right? As you win, okay, you get your medal and then you leave, and that's it. But when you lose, what do we have to do?
Yeah, when you lose, you always learn something. You know, I learned that when I'm passing, I can keep everything a little tighter to keep more control. That's one thing I learned. And yeah, you always learn something when you lose.
Yeah, I think so. Looking back at it, and jiu-jitsu is a very intricate game, and this is for like the higher level competitors. Is if you are competing and you guys are both on the same level, and both your guards are really good, make sure you're on the bottom, right? Because it's really hard to pass someone's guard. And so that's if you guys are both guard players, right? So I think he pulled guard and you were confident in your passing. But at the end of the day, knowing you, I think you are better at your guard. And so to win that fight, I think just even pulling guard in the beginning, and that would have just changed, shifted the whole game. But who cares? It doesn't matter. It's already done. But that being said, I think we should be a little tighter, could have stabilized the hips a little bit more. But when you do that, hopefully the ref doesn't tell you to fix your uniform next time. But that's okay. We flew out to Dublin. I got a gold, you got a silver, and we had a lot of fun, right? And I saw a lot of kids compete. We had a gray belt today. His name is Dylan, and he's a really good kid. He's like 9 years old. He's turning 10, I believe, next week. And this guy, he was getting I think like his dad is not Dylan's dad, but his opponent's dad, I think was like a black belt. And this kid was pretty gnarly, passing his guard at ease. And he was at one point he was down 23-0. And Dylan's dad was like, "Hey Rob, what do we tell him right now?" And Dylan actually had a very, very strong showing the match before, in which he left it all out on the mats. And so I told the dad, I'm like, "Man, he's in deep water right now. Let's just kind of have him have the fight to, keep fighting and not give up." And that was the plan, for the rest of the minute. And Dylan, he actually gets back, puts the opponent back into closed guard while being down 23-0, and throws a loop choke on this kid. And I swear, this kid was about to go out. And if he had 5 or 10 more seconds, Dylan actually would have won this match. And, he did lose, but when he came up to us after, he was crying. I was like, man, there's nothing to cry about, because that's what we want to see from these kids. The gold medal, that's just a $5-10 medal. That doesn't matter, right? You show your friends, I got a gold medal. But what really matters to the professors and to the parents is not giving up, and then just keep fighting no matter how deep you are in the deep end. You just decide to keep fighting, not give up. And that itself is going to give him life lessons 20 years down the road. So this is really what jiu-jitsu and competition is about. There's a lot of technique involved, but not quitting, showing strength when times are hard. And especially for these kids, it's amazing to see these kids. I wish I had this when I was a kid, but I didn't. But anyway, it is what it is. We saw a lot of kids get tapped out. I saw a kid's arm get broken. And at the end of the day, did you have fun this weekend?
Yeah, it was fun. You know, it's always good to come out, travel, and fight, see new kids. Yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah, we got some good reels. And we work with Miguel Valdez as our strength and conditioning coach. I know the kids were a lot stronger than you. I mean, they're huge. I know you gave up a lot of weight to them. How did you feel though, strength wise, compared to them? That's kind of what I was worried about.
Strength wise, you know, I've been lifting more with Miguel's program, and you know, I feel it. You know, I feel way stronger because I fought in the same weight class about a month ago, and I didn't feel as strong as I did today. So I'm happy that I'm seeing progress.
Awesome.
And, yeah.
So we'll just keep lifting, keep getting stronger, keep eating, just get 1% better a day. And that, my friends, is how you don't lose in life. Because if you lose, something didn't go your way, and you're blaming this, you're blaming that, you're like, oh man, you know, why is everyone against me? Guess what? You're the only loser, right? You can cry on your pillow. No one cares, right? I'm sure, well, I'm being kind of harsh. I'm sure some people care, but at the end of the day, you're the only one who really has to suffer with that seed in your head, right? But I've learned along the way that I have to take accountability for that, for my losses, whatever it is. And I have to look at angles in which I can grow from this experience and learn from it so I can add value to other people. So learning to lose correctly is a part of life, and in life, it's not like school or university, right? Because in an exam, it's very linear. You get an A, B, C, D, or F. If you get a D or an F in school, you fail. And you're identified as a failure. You're stupid, you're dumb, low IQ, whatever it is. But actually in business and in life, getting a D or F, you get to try again. But not only do you get to try again, you gain all this valuable experience. And the next time you come around, you're going to have extra data. And so you're going to make even better. You're going to be more fruitful. So in Psalms 1, God says, you know, meditate on the law day and night, and thou should be planted like a tree. You're going to be like a tree. And you're going to be planted like a tree and be surrounded by water. Imagine you're a tree surrounded by water. And that's all your nutrition. You have a buffet of nutrition. And it says your leaf will not wither, meaning your tree, it will never die. And whatever you do when the season comes will prosper. And so how does a tree grow? A tree doesn't just grow up and straight. A tree goes up straight, wide, to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back, 360. You're going to be fruitful. So the way life works is by multiplication. It's not by addition. It's not by subtraction. It's by multiplication. So when you have one branch, it's going to yield 10 apples. And these 10 apples are going to maybe have 5 seeds in them. But how many apples are within the seed in the future generations? That, my friends, is how you get an abundant mindset. And that takes a lot of creativity. So to be in a mode of creative existence, guys, we have to always think positively and be in alignment with God. If you know, I believe in God, or whatever you believe in. Hopefully whatever you believe in has good morals and has, you know, gives you a good direction in life. For me, that's been the Bible. And so that is kind of what jiu-jitsu teaches us also, right? There's a lot of life lessons in jiu-jitsu. We want to be the best we can be. The mats is just a petri dish of a learning environment with good friends and teammates. And yeah, man. So do you have school when we get back?
Yeah, when we get back to school, back to work, back to training.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
So, win or lose, like in episode 1, win or lose, we go back and we do what we do, and we do it better. We do it 1% better. And so hopefully, we motivated you guys. Maybe you guys can do Euros. Maybe you guys can make a tournament. Maybe you guys can do something to challenge yourself. And you challenge yourself, and regardless the outcome, you can win first. You can win second. You can win third. You may not even win, but at the end, always take it as a learning experience. Get better, and we'll have another podcast soon. And stay tuned. And thanks for following us. Let's stay 1% better. Olis.